So, I have a question for you. Why is Tromsø called the gateway to the Arctic? And who is the most important historical figure of Tromsø? But before that, I want to just say that I'm Valentinos. I live and love Tromsø. I live in Tromsø and I love Tromsø. It's the city that I love the most through my life. And I am currently a guide here, and I just want to share my information with you. So I want you to get more educated and love the city as much as I do. So this is the city, this is the island of Tromsø. I hope you love it. It's more of a place where people travel for the Northern Lights, but today I come here with critical information about historical figures of Tromsø. So let's get into it right straight. So, if you know a guy called Roald Amundsen, yes or no, maybe you do, maybe you don't. He is the most important historical figure of Tromsø. He has been a leader of expeditions, excursions, an explorer, and he is famous that he was the first person to reach the South Pole. Yes, and he did that through a competition. I'm going to tell more about it later, like very, very soon. But also, I want to just say that he was actually not from Tromsø. He became very famous because all his expeditions started from Tromsø, and he was always in his spare time living here, recruiting people in the bars, in the pubs that they had. This is why he was here, because he wanted to recruit the most important, the educated people with experience, knowledge about the Arctic, about how to survive, and especially this is because Tromsø back then, like in early 1900s, it was a spot, a very big hub for Arctic hunters. So he wanted to collect these people to recruit his team and go and sail through all these Arctic expeditions. So I wanted to say that he managed to find the crew and reach the South Pole as part of a competition, and his competitor was a British also expeditioner called, if I'm not mistaken, Scott Falcon. He was actually first to step. I think I'm correct to that. I'm not sure. I'm not a historian. And I'm so sorry if I'm not giving you the perfect knowledge, but I just love to learn more about it. So Scott Falcon, I think he was the first one to actually step his foot, his legs, his personality in the south, not the South Pole, but Antarctica. But he haven't planned his trip correctly, because he and his team they brought horses in order to ride. If I'm not mistaken, they brought horses to reach to the center of the South Pole, but the horses died, unfortunately, and he couldn't succeed the mission. But on the meanwhile, at the same time, exactly, Roald Amundsen, this historical figure, he and his crewmates, they had brought huskies for them to sled them through all these Arctic conditions. And on December of 1911, he managed to become the first person to put the Norwegian flag in the South Pole. The first person with his crew, of course. Let's put some effort, some credibility, some credits to them also, because they did a lot of job as well. I bet the early 1900s wasn't an easy period. And also, you can find his history in so many people, so many places here in Tromsø. You can find so many statues, so many names, so many buildings. There is even a boat called after his name, and there is even a scientific center in the South Pole called after him. So I wanted to say that if you can come in Tromsø, and now this is the boat and bus terminal, this is where I am now, and here there is a square of him, Roald Amundsen Square, and you can find his face and his whole body there. I can tell you, take some photos, but never look at the photos, because his nose is so characteristic, so sharp and long, even better than my nose, that you will have nightmares, trust me about it. So last things last, I want to say is that since he has been not living here, but has been here so often, he needed a place to stay at. And this place is also a historical building that is exactly in the main street of Tromsø, in Storgata, the main street. It's a big building, and as long it was very famous back then, as it was his house, but now it's famous because it is the northernmost hard rock cafe housed in this house. So yes, if you come in Tromsø, please go and see it. It is renewed, of course. You cannot find anything of Roald Amundsen there, but you can find the northernmost hard rock there. Also, before closing, and thank you for watching this video, I want to say that he has been also, because of his expeditions, that's why Tromsø was called the gateway to the Arctic, and this is why we always say that as guides, and people know it as Tromsø is the gateway to the Arctic, because except from apart from his expedition to the South Pole, he also was the first person to sail through the Northeast Passage. If you don't know what the Northeast Passage is, I didn't know either, but it is the passage if you sail from the northern parts of America. If you sail from Europe and you go over there, and between Greenland and Alaska and Canada, this is the Northeast Passage, and he was the first one to sail through it. He also, that was before he went to the South Pole, by the way, and that's how he became famous and people trusted him, and he was founded for his expedition in South Pole. Also, he also sailed through the Southwest Passage, which is actually, I think the definition is every route from the sea that you can take going from Europe to Asia using the Northern Sea. This is the Northwest Passage, and he also sailed through it. I don't think that he was the first. And also he flew with an airship till the North Pole. He was one of the first people to do that. Unfortunately, I think that this is one of his last expeditions, because his death was about when he wanted to rescue some people, I think, a friend of him called Umberto Nobili, who was doing a solo expedition. Then he was lost, and Roald Amundsen went to help with a big crew of a Norwegian team and some French people in it. So on their tries to help his friend, he actually passed away for his efforts. I want to say thank you, because I have learned all this information reading a manuscript from a guy or guide called Knut Hansvold. Thank you so much for that. I couldn't skip saying that. Thank you for everything. And if there's anything else to say, because I have some notes, of course. Nope, I said about anything. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Gateway of the Arctic. This is Tromsø, and this was the history of Roald Amundsen, the most important historical figure of Tromsø. And I talked also about the northernmost Hard Rock Cafe. See you guys. Thank you so much.